Hey YouTube, just wanted to preface this review today. There is going to be talks of a certain act, as the title would suggest, and it's going to go through real-time events that have been experienced by the artist, and also stories of real-time events that have happened to me. So please, viewer discretion. If you are triggered, or this can trigger emotions based on obviously talking about the certain subject, this may not be the video for you. Again, triggered, offended, or this can bring emotional thought, please do not watch this reaction or review. Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the OTT channel with another OTT review. You can call me Turrell and Ren. You in the scope. Welcome back to the channel where we play games, review music, and have a good time. If you enjoyed yourself at the end of the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it, and you can catch every video when it does go live. We're back with Ren now. I've been waiting for a new Ren song. We had Animal Flow, which was crazy, upbeat, really just a grunty song. When that raw songs that Ren comes out with, that just shows his talents and just shows that he's the big dog and he belongs in here. But now I think we're gonna go really emotional and dark. We're gonna go back to the higher end sort of perspective. This song's been a bit afraid of, because if you know the song I'm talking about and you've already heard it, and you know me, if you've been in the streams or seen some of the YouTube videos, the title of this song I have a lot of connection to, had it in my life a lot, and it's something I speak against, and I'm a very big advocate for helping people in these situations that feel this way and have thought about doing or attempted this themselves. So this song's gonna be a pretty rough one for me. I'm not gonna lie, there might be some tears. I'm doing my best to, not tear up too much on the video, even though I have in previous. But just pre-warning to anyone that hasn't listened to the song yet or has listened to it, this is gonna be very strong, very powerful, very tough. I don't know where it's gonna go. I'm excited to review it, react to it, and I just want to have a listen. Again, he's told us a lot about his battles as well, so this could be really strong, and I hope it does send a good message. But otherwise, let's get right into it.
Through the cracks of the night sky, a light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. I'm so fucking lonely beneath this. Narcissistic, can't keep a secret. Miscount sheep, I can't sleep, a misfit. Some say trouble, but some say sadistic. Bruises my brother, one time or the other. My skin felt counterfeit. Silicone rubber. Bruises my sister, skin pop the blister. Dig deep, resist the feeling when it hits you. Falling through the cracks of the night sky, a light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide.
Just from the start, so from what I heard in that first area, it just sort of sounded like imposter syndrome. Like, he was saying that the skin feels like silicone plastic, so living in a shell that's not really his, that just screams imposter syndrome. Being lonely, like that's one of the major reasons for what we're talking about. I'm going to avoid using the word myself. It is a very strong word. It doesn't need the word to be said to know what we're talking about here. So I'm going to avoid using the word as best as possible. Again, it is just something for myself. Dealing with it, I've sort of tabooed the word to myself, as for the reasons past. But yeah, that is one of the main reasons people do it, is the loneliness. They don't feel they can reach out. They don't feel like anyone can help, they can understand, or are too afraid or too embarrassed to reach out, because they think they're just going to be, classed as, oh, he's just depressed, or she's just lonely, or they're not gonna do it, and then they do it and it becomes a whole different story. The art to this song already is incredible. It's already set that tone, that it's going to be, you know, it's just, again, a little bit of a storytell about his visions or the feelings and emotions that come through this in this particular moment, or the lead up to. So yeah, already really powerful. Let's see how we go.
I'm so fucking washed up and seasick. Masochistic kid with a split lip. 6 feet deep, I can't eat, I'm nervous. Won't stay down cause my body purges. Useless, my mother, can't keep in my supper. Skin so pale cause my cheeks leak colour. Truth is my father, you choose your karma. Draw for the sword, then drive through the armor.
You choose your karma. Oh, that's strong. You choose your karma. Basically being like, the decisions you make, if you're gonna punish yourself for it, that's your choice. Like, oh, that's, yeah. Oh, wow.
Falling through the cracks of the night sky. A light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Oh, I. Treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide.
Where's this going?
It's hard to take off from the ground when your wings are cut. Your stomach burns when you're drinking from an empty cup. You know the entire ocean came from my tear ducts. I see the world through Fibonacci sequences and double Dutch. I guess there's some that's born lucky, there's some that's not. I tried to cut away my bitterness, hatchet job.
Oh shit. Try to cut away my problems, hatchet job. Jesus Christ. Oh, jeez. All right. Damn. Okay, this is where it's gonna get. This is where it's gonna get really tough. Wow. Hard to drink from an empty cup. Like, it's hard to pull faith from nowhere. It's hard to pull inspiration from nothingness. It's hard to feel love from completely lovelessness. Like, oh, wow. That last line, that was crazy. That was. Yep. All right.
I locked my youth inside a trunk, inside a pickup truck, then dumped the whole thing over that same bridge the night you jumped. I think about that sometimes, vividly, what it felt like to look down and see tranquility. One sudden movement in a world of possibility, only one movement to expose our fragility. I fucking miss you, and I miss myself. I miss thinking we were indestructible as well. I miss chilling by the pier cave and kicking back with Callum, Hugo, Sager, Justin, Stevie and the fucking lads. I miss missing that. I numb myself to close the gap. I never even call them up. The distance is my plaster cast. The truth is to the day you jumped, my childhood jumped too. But I still can't find that anger. All I find is missing you, my...
God damn. All right, so obviously he's had a friend that has, has done themselves in. Wow, yeah. I think it was, again, it was in the previous song, Animal Flow Acoustic, where I brought up Ed Sheeran as well. But Ren's touching on another side, another idea of Ed Sheeran's, which was death, and this is the end of childhood. It's the end of youth. That when this happens, you have to grow up on the spot. You don't have options. You are to grow up on the spot. You become an adult at those moments, even if you're not ready to. And it's so true. You don't have the option. If you go through that, there's no living like a child anymore. Yeah, it's that concept is so accurate and so crazy, and like people that have experienced know that it's so true. I wouldn't be surprised if that itself was inspired by the Ed Sheeran saying that, but it's so real. One movement to show our fragility, like stand on the edge of a building, one step shows how fragile a human's mind and a human's body really is. Like a misbalance, a misstep, or an actual intentional step just shows the fragility of the mind, because it just shows how quickly humanity in a person and strength in a person can be just broken instantly. Wow. So obviously, yeah, he had his friend go from obviously jumping off a bridge. Wow. This section is, yeah, this is tough. And I hope, Ren's obviously be coping from it. Like, distance is my plastic cast. Yeah, absolutely. You push everyone away when that kind of thing happens, because what you're trying to do to fix things is just keep yourself away, because you don't want to be reminded of the fact that they're gone. You don't want to be around the people that are grieving as well, because grief with grief is more grief. So what you do is you go numb, you block it out, you distance yourself, you don't go anywhere near it. Yeah. I'll reflect to myself right now. Actually, no, we'll reflect afterwards. Actually, we'll reflect to myself afterwards. This is about Ren at the moment, but yeah, completely accurate down to every word of it. Let's keep going.
I miss you. With all my rhymes, I picture running 5 minutes quicker, I'm right on time. I picture pulling you back over the edge and then we're crying, and holding you, my brother, and telling you that it's fine. Not the way that it worked, cause I was late like a jerk. There's not a day where I could find a way to break from the hurt.
Was he on his way to stop him? Is that what he's saying? Was he on his way to stop him from jumping? Like, or is he referencing the fact that, and what happens with this is that everyone reflects the same, is that they wish they could have been there to change things? It's either the fact that he was on his way to stop him, or he's referencing the fact that if I was around more often, you probably wouldn't have done this. Or if I was there the night before, we could have talked. Yeah, that is the most self-toxic thought process and grief system there is for someone that has gone through this with a friend or a family member that has gone through that, is to sit there and be like, what if I was here? What if I was there when they thought this? What if I talked to you the day before? What if I saw you? I'm guessing that's reference to this, because just to think that was a situation where he was on his way to stop his friend from jumping and he was 5 minutes late. That would be grim. They always reference back to, what if I was here at this point? What if I did this? What if I was there the night before? What if I saw you the day of? And it's so true.
Your body missing, so we never got to wave to the hearse. I hope you're listening. I love you, man. I miss you absurd. Fuck.
Rest in peace. Wow. Jesus. It went there. It certainly went there. All right, let's reflect on this one. Wow. I knew it was going to be a grim one. I knew it was going to be sad. Like it was never going to be. Yeah, it was. We knew coming into this that it was going to be grim. I didn't know it was going to be so personal. I thought potentially that this would be connected somehow, but I didn't know it was going to be that personal in the end. And that, look, again, naming your friends in a song, that's when you know this is like close to heart. Like, this is the real deal. Again, just before we start breaking this down, if you're feeling these ways, if you're struggling to talk to people and you think it's all over, there is always help out there. There's always places and people to reach out to. 1311.14. That's Lifeline Australia. It's a way to connect at any point in time with, trained professionals that know how to speak with people that are going through the depression and people that are going through these thoughts. So if you're finding it hard to speak with your friends and your family and people that love you, and you do have people that love you, never ever think you don't. There's always people out there that love you. If you're struggling to pull yourself towards them for your own reasons, 131114, Lifeline Australia. Reach out to places like Beyond Blue as well. They do great work when it comes to people that are experiencing this, that are going through beyond like life-threatening trauma. You know, absolute fantastic work goes out by these people. So there's always places to reach out to. There's always people to talk to. Don't be afraid to. Let's break it down a little bit. So, you know, it's a pretty impactful song. It lies in a pretty taboo area, obviously being that of the act that this song is named after. Touched on some very, very important parts of the thoughts processes behind that, where we're talking about imposter syndrome, loneliness, just the inability to keep going. You can see that Ren has experienced it, probably thought about it himself, probably potentially even attempted, but just knew a lot about the subject. And again, it just proved in the second half of that song where he went into his own story. And I hope, well, however long it's been, I hope Ren's okay. Like, it will stick with a person for nearly the rest of their life, if not the rest of their life, depending. I personally have had 2 instances where I've lost people due to this. One of them being a friend and one of them being my father. So, it's incredibly destructive. You never truly recover from it. You just learn to endure, or you learn to cope. It's been coming up 16 years this year for my dad, and I still think every day that I wish he was still here. I wish I could have said different things to him. I wish I could take it all back, but it's a very, very self-toxic and self-destructive way of thinking. So I just remember the good times. But it does refer back to those moments where you go, well, if I was there that day, and I talked to him, I was there that moment and just said, hey, are you okay? And then, a best friend of mine, found out on stream, actually, funnily enough. The stream's a few years back now, but I found out on stream. I got a phone call, was told, and it just was bone rattling. And there's nothing, I'm going to say it now, there's nothing worse attending a funeral for someone that is younger than you. That was an incredibly surreal moment when you realize that a life is taken before they experienced how much you have. It's such a surreal feeling. You don't know how to cope. You don't know how to feel. There's such numbness behind it. It's just pain. But you just feel that, again, going back to that thought pattern, is that I wish I could have done something differently, and I wish I could have prevented this, but you couldn't. You can't. You can't think like that, because then grief turns into resentment, and you resent yourself for not making the efforts that you think you could have done, which is untrue. Like, you can't undo what you've done. Like, you can't reflect and say I could have done more, when you definitely couldn't have, because you did what you did. And they turn around and say, oh, you could have done, like, you could have been there. It's like, no, I couldn't have been there because I wasn't there. Like, you can't change the past, so there's no point, resulting back to it and trying to go, well, if I did this, because no, you couldn't do that because you didn't, and that's not going to change anything. And that's how life works. Those decisions you can't reattempt or redo, and it's not going to make a difference anyway. So this was a very for people that haven't experienced it, this is a very eye-opening song, and they should take this as literal as possible because it was so accurate to everything. I hope you're okay, Ren. If you're watching this, I hope that you have the right circles around you to help you cope, to talk to. Yeah, it's tough. It's very tough losing someone so close, especially to themselves. But things will get better. You will adapt. You will cope, and you will move on. Just remember that they're in your heart forever. Just remember that all the good memories will last as well as the bad, but they are always going to be with you no matter what, as long as you keep them there. I'll probably, I'm gonna probably leave it there because there's so much more I could go into. But again, if you're feeling the emotions that were portrayed in this song, if you are having thoughts of this, or you just believe that life is just too hard or no one loves you, please reach out. There are people out there that do love you. I promise you that you are loved, whether it be just people close to you, people in the street, or myself. You are loved. Everyone that watches this video know that you're loved by me. I appreciate you because you are who you are, and you are human, and you are worthy. You're worthy of life, and you're worthy to walk this earth. So just remember that if you are feeling down, I love you. All right. But then again, you can reach out to things like Beyond Blue. I'm not sure about other countries, but there is obviously lifelines and other places that you can call, and they'll be available 24/7 just to talk to people that are experienced with talking with people with these thoughts, and that just show compassion, empathy, and love to these to yourselves. So please reach out. Again, Lifeline for Australia 131114, free. You can be completely anonymous, and it's available 24 hours a day, so that you can call up at any point in time. You're not alone. You're not the only person feeling this, and things will get better. Things will get move on. But look, if you did enjoy this video, like, subscribe to the channel, get notified when we do post a video or go live. We also go live on Tuesdays and Fridays on Twitch and here. We usually play FPS games and other story games. I'd appreciate if you're there and check us out. Otherwise, appreciate you being here. Appreciate you going through this journey with me. And otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. And always, love, peace, and burger grease.